Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is June 30th, and today we're going to take a look at this storm system headed for the Pacific Northwest later on this weekend towards the 4th of July. Which areas will impact? We'll try to find out some of the timing on some of these precipitation features and potential thunderstorms for our region here. Which areas look like they might get washed out for their 4th of July festivities as we go through Monday. We'll take a look at that. Looking at the visible satellite, you can see some low clouds are on the western portions here, nice and sunny in the eastern portions, and some of these clouds are already burning off. Should be a nice sunny day for most of the region today. Enjoy today and tomorrow before the clouds start to really roll in here and we start to introduce some precipitation chances across the region here, which we'll take a look at in a minute. Looking at the rest of the country, Salt Lake City, some nice graphics here. National Weather Service talking about flash flooding threat here. And so if you're traveling down here through Utah, some of this monsoon moisture down here through Utah, New Mexico, and Arizona has been pretty persistent the last couple of weeks here. So heads up if you're traveling down in those areas. And the SPC kind of showing that thunderstorm potential today, just extreme north portions here. I'm not sure what they're looking at here for day 2. I think they've got an error. They're mixing up their days here. They must think this is for Saturday because this threat does not exist across Oregon and Washington. So SPC will probably correct that, I'm assuming, here coming up. And this is for day 3, which would be Saturday, and would introduce a better threat down through the Cascades of Oregon and Washington, and potentially even to the lowlands of British Columbia as we go on in through later Saturday into Sunday. We'll take a look at that coming up here. But looking at SeaTac temperatures, we were at 69 yesterday, fairly cloudy. We should be more sunny today and closer to normal temperatures. You can see the record high of 96 and 1995 there. Now, taking a look here at the HRRR, kind of shows that thunderstorm threat as we roll through the day today, mainly British Columbia here, extreme portions of northern Washington, Idaho, and Montana. And then as we move through on into Friday, you can see maybe a thunderstorm threat for British Columbia and maybe extreme northern Washington again. But again, the SPC had it highlighted for down here, so I'm sure those graphics are in error. Hopefully they correct them soon. And rolling through the NAM 3KM here, you can see that thunderstorm threat as we move through the afternoon today, North Cascades, British Columbia. And we go through Friday, you'll see we're going to have another glorious, nice, sunshiny day across the region here. I mean, you see a few showers pop up here, but really there's not much of a thunderstorm threat as it looks as of yet, especially through the Washington Cascades like the SPC was showing. So as we roll through Saturday here, then you can see we go into the southerly flows start to come across the Cascades here. So we got to watch this on into Saturday night, which is what we'll do next here. This is the UW. This is the simulated infrared satellite imagery here. You look at today and tomorrow, nice glorious sunshine across the region here. And then we go into Saturday and you can see these thunderstorms pop up. We get the southerly flow with the low pressure offshore, the troughing offshore, this defluent flow aloft. When you get defluence aloft, you're spreading out the air, and then that causes convergence at the surface and can help organize these thunderstorms as they move up the Cascades. Kind of a negative tilt to this trough may bring some of these thunderstorms out to northern portions of Washington into southern British Columbia here too. So that's something we will watch coming up. The European here, just check out these total precipitation amounts as we roll through Saturday. You'll see this flow come up through the Cascades here. This precipitation really gets going, moves out over in the northern interior Washington, British Columbia, some huge amounts as we go through later on the 4th of July on into the following Tuesday morning. Look at some of these precipitation amounts as we go on through the extended here. And we're going to continue this troughing offshore, but we'll take that day at a time because the position of that troughing is going to mean everything as far as potential for thunderstorms and additional precipitation on into our extended forecast. And that doesn't mean we won't get some nice days in there. The weather looks pretty pleasant after we go through the trough here around the 4th of July period. So we'll take that day at a time for now. This is the GFS. Let's kind of look at the timing of this precipitation here as we go through the day. Saturday evening, you see the thunderstorm potential of the Cascades, that negative tilt of the trough start to bring that precipitation out over the lowlands here a bit. On Sunday night into Monday, you can see we dry out for western Washington, Oregon here, but we start introducing thunderstorm chances to eastern portions here, and maybe some wraparound moisture keeping us generally cool, and maybe some additional precip, but not very heavy amounts. But look at eastern Washington and off into Idaho, Montana, Alberta, eastern British Columbia, some pretty good precipitation amounts, some strong to severe storms out here for Alberta and Montana possible the night of 4th of July. And it looks like some of eastern British Columbia might get some pretty good precipitation during the firework time there on the 4th of July as well. So we'll continue to watch this. Looks like eastern Washington may even be getting some rainfall on 4th of July evening as well. And Checking out the European here, let's check out the timing on this as well. So we'll move through Thursday here. We go through Friday, a couple pop-up storms, mainly British Columbia. Saturday, here comes that southerly flow aloft across the Cascades. Negative tilt brings it over the lowlands here on the day Sunday. And you see that precipitation continuing. Look at the European here as it bullseyeing Western Washington and British Columbia here. Pretty good on the day, 4th of July. But by the evening, you'll notice maybe this starts to cut off just in time for portions of Seattle during the firework festivities there. But you can see the European agrees here for some strong storms through Alberta, Montana, possibly severe. And it does bring that thunderstorm threat through eastern Washington on the day on the 4th of July as well. So pretty dynamic system here as we go through early July. You know, this is quite unusual for the Pacific Northwest. And again, we're going to continue this troughing off the coastline here. We'll see what that does as we get towards that period though. So here I wanted to take a look at the winds on the 4th of July. Here we're looking at about 11 p.m. here, and you can see generally light winds around the area. I was hoping with the system around we would get a little bit more winds to kick out some of the smoke after the 4th of July shows, but right now it's not showing that so much. But hopefully this changes. Maybe we'll get an uptick in the forecast and eventually clear out that smoke quicker, sooner rather than later. And now checking out across the North American continent, Washington, Oregon, Alaska. Here's British Columbia. Here's the Gulf of Alaska. You can see the cold air at 700 millibars, which is about 10,000 feet that spilled out over the Gulf of Alaska. And you can see that kind of drop down and sit and spin off our coastline and finally eject over the region, bringing this precipitation on the 4th of July evening to some of the areas. And again, we'll continue to watch where this is going to set up. We'll watch this high resolution models come in. Looks like British Columbia might be a favored area for precipitation during the evening hours of those fireworks shows, but Western Washington, Eastern Washington are not excluded. There is a possibility for rainfall on the 4th of July nighttime for those areas. GFS is in general agreement at 10,000 feet. Put this into motion, you can see that trough kind of open up the exact same way the European does. So confidence is pretty high in this system developing later this week and on into the 4th of July. Here's the GFS showing Sunday, Monday, the cool days here, as you can see the trough. But Thursday, Friday, Saturday, pretty nice days. We'll probably get pretty warm Saturday before we introduce those high clouds and the thunderstorms of the Cascades before they attempt to move off the Cascades towards the lowlands on through Saturday night. And we'll continue to watch that, especially as high resolution models get in range here and then potentially warming up above average for the extended. So we'll watch that as we get closer. Here's the GFS ensemble runs. Each one of these is an ensemble member. So we have a control run where we take the initial conditions of the atmosphere as we understand them and we run it out. And that's what this blue line is. The green line is the mean, which is the average of all these other ensemble runs. All these other ensemble runs are the initial conditions tweaked a little bit and just kind of let them run out by themselves. And you can kind of see how these vary as you get well up into the extended here. These little dash of gray lines here kind of show the extreme variations in the temperature as you go out in this ensemble forecast. You can see that like the control run, for example, on Sunday shows cooler temperatures than what the ensemble mean shows. So we know we have some disagreement here on just how much we're going to warm up on the day Sunday. So just kind of a little ensemble 101 there. GFS, you can see that troughing for the 4th of July, potential thunderstorms as well. Here's for Seattle, Tacoma, the control calling for some precipitation during the day 4th of July. And again, we'll check the timing on that for high resolution models coming up in the next few days as they get closer to showing the 4th of July. Here's Spokane as well. You can see the precipitation on the 4th of July. Also, some pretty good precipitation amounts, especially for eastern Washington here on the 4th of July. So we'll continue to monitor that. Here's Kamloops up in Canada showing that precipitation ongoing, potentially on in through the evening and nighttime hours of the 4th of July. Blue River Airport, same thing here, kind of showing that precipitation hanging around there. And this is Bellingham International. You can see that potential for plain old rain falling on the 4th of July fireworks shows up there. Here's Spokane on the European here. This is the 060. It doesn't go out as far, but you can see the general cool temperatures there for Monday. As probably have ample cloud cover during the day. There is a potential for thunderstorms does exist, as I mentioned before. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and bring us a storm system here on the 4th of July. We might make some fireworks of our own. Mother Nature may make some fireworks of her own, I should say. And there's a potential for thunderstorms mainly in through eastern Washington. There'll be a little bit of the stronger variety, and then even some severe ones off towards Alberta and eastern Montana here. And we're going to bring some pretty good precipitation amounts through British Columbia, and some of the models are showing that from Seattle northward, some pretty good precipitation amounts, especially for the Cascade Mountains here too. And we may have some instability and thunderstorms with some of this activity as well. So we'll continue to monitor that as we go on in through the day tomorrow. We'll do another one of these forecasts, of course, tomorrow. We'll start to look at the NAMS that comes into range for the 4th of July also. So hope you guys are liking these videos. Leave some feedback below. Please subscribe if you haven't. You guys make this channel possible by subscribing to it, and we will talk about this again tomorrow.